Hello again. We are 3 weeks into our study now, and you may be thinking that you're a little overwhelmed right now by going through so many questions and all the searching and wrestling you maybe have been doing with yourself or examining the culture or the church around you. But I am still hoping and praying that through it all, you are finding even little pieces of your faith that are becoming more genuine. And today we're talking about chapter 3, Grey Church. And it's kind of an interesting topic because honestly, church can be messy, right? It's not always easy. At the same time, it's such a beautiful thing. And so I want to talk today a little bit about balance and how we as church members really balance each other and how we can use questions to help keep us balanced. And I want to share a quick story with you that illustrates what I want to share. So about a year ago, my husband and I connected with a church a couple towns over, and they were helping to host a group of children from Uganda. The children would come over and they would tour the U.S., singing and dancing, and that's how they would fundraise to send money back to Uganda to support programs and children there. And I loved that idea, and I was intrigued by the church as they shared their story because they said that for a very long time they had 4 walls and resources, and they were really using those resources for themselves. And as they became convicted and started looking into what it meant to step outside their 4 walls and love the world around them, that's how they became connected with this group in Uganda. And to me, that really sums up the idea of balancing each other within a church and using questions to propel us to make positive change. And on one hand, right, if they had never asked the question, if they had never wondered if they were following God's heart as they should, then they would have stayed still. Nothing positive would have come out of that. They would have just stayed the same. On the other hand, if the person who maybe first realized that they weren't honoring God, if that person or those people asked questions but didn't allow those questions to lead to positive change, if they let those questions turn into negativity instead, then they would have been just as bad as having never asked the question. And I decided that really it takes love to balance us and to keep us in the middle of those two extremes. Because love prompts us to ask the questions to begin with. Are we following God? Are we loving others? And then love also keeps us from becoming negative and from focusing on things critically in such a way that we're really hurting ourselves and those around us. And as I talked to my husband about this, he was saying that really when we ask questions, we're searching for truth. And so when we ask questions and we find truth, we need to let that truth propel us to make changes. And so I just want to ask you right now, wherever you are in your walk with Christ, and wherever you may find yourself in a church setting, where is your heart? And are you someone who has been willing to ask those questions? Or are you someone who maybe has been asking questions, but you felt a little bit of negativity growing inside of you? And I just want to encourage you to commit this week to pray about where God may want you to influence people around you in a positive way, and how that might look, and how you can begin to ask questions that will lead you to truth, that will lead us to change. Because honestly, I just think that when we can embrace questions that lead us to positive change, God can just do so much in our churches. He can just break down walls and barriers and make such a huge impact in a world around us that desperately needs His love. So I look forward to talking to you again next week, and I hope you're encouraged by today.